To begin, we'll introduce you to Rana. Rana Bakari has generously outfitted the HSC Winnipeg Children's Hospital Libraries with a really wonderful gift of books that celebrate Muslim culture and religion and really give kids who are in hospital an opportunity to read and see and share stories uh, featuring characters that reflect themselves, that are familiar, and that will give them a great deal of comfort because we know that when you're in hospital, like when you're at home, escaping into a story is a really wonderful sort of coping mechanism, and it takes you on all different kinds of adventures, and that's particularly important to sort of get away from the realities of a hospital visit. So some of the books are in Arabic, some are in English. There are 75 of them that have been sourced from all over the globe, thanks to some serious Nancy Drewing and detective work on behalf of Ms. Bukhari. And we just want to say thank you so very much for this generous gift. And I'll kick it over to Rana to tell us a little bit about why this was so important to her.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to thank you all. Thank you, Emma, Kat, Catherine, Stefano, for helping me, you know, make this vision of mine come into fruition. Um, I had mentioned just throughout to Stefano a few months back when my dad passed away, which was a year ago. I wanted to do something special, and it is really a cultural thing. It's a part of what we do as kids of a parent who's passed, and especially somebody who was someone like my dad, who was so instrumental in my life, and such a generous spirit and an empathetic man, and he just gave all that he had all the time. So it was really important for me to do something really special in his memory. And when we were kids, so I was maybe 11 or 12, and my little sister, who was at the time maybe 3 or 4, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And we ended up staying at the children's hospital for a good month. So me and her together. And I remember being there, and I remember my parents having such comfort of us being there. But it was noticeable that when we were kind of upset and my sister was getting her pokes and her needles, we would spend a lot of time in that library together, right? And picking up books. And I just had this vision of how amazing it would be to be able to pick up those books and see values that we were taught in those books, or our faces reflected in those books, or something really that would be comforting, right? So yeah, I did. I sourced all these books, and I'm super excited to donate them. It's my heart-filled desire that families from all over the world who come to Winnipeg and make Canada their home have the opportunity to see themselves and feel that joy and that comfort, and especially during very difficult times. Just to have that kid in your lap reading a book that looks like you, it's a really special moment. So I know we all love our technology, but books are amazing. So I do it in memory of my dad. I do it to honor my father. I do it in his memory, and I hope my intent of making those families feel even a little bit of comfort comes comes true. So every time I hope they open their book, and it was really great because everyone kept telling me to, oh, just put a little stamp in it that says donated by, and I was just like, no way, I'm writing in every single book, donated by Rana on behalf of my dad. So I got to do that as well, which was very special. But I think that had Stefano not allowed me to just voice my desire and allowed me to kind of run with it, I wouldn't have been able to do that. And the last thing I really wanted to say was, I think that anytime any of us do something for a parent, you always want it to continue and roll into something else. So for anyone who's kind of watching or able to, I did it for my community. I did it for us, but I think that we're such a diverse nation and such a diverse city and country. It would be incredible, and just as a call to action, if everyone was able to just even figure out one or two books that are really special to you, or maybe really special to your family in terms of culture, values, whatever else, and take the initiative and just get them to the hospital and get them to that library. They help the kids, you know, it helps families. It makes you feel at home when you're completely not at home. So, you know, if there's a call to action, I really hope that people will get motivated to do the same thing. I know you don't have to do 75, but just pick one or two that are really special to you and then get them to that hospital. And I'm really confident. I know Emma will take good care of them and she'll make sure they go where they're supposed to. But it's my heart-filled thank you. Thank you for everyone for allowing me to do this.
Well, thank you, Rana, so very, very much on behalf of the 130,000 kids who visit HSC Winnipeg Children's Hospital every year. Now, to tell us a little bit more about the library at the Children's Hospital is Emma Robin, who is the coordinator of the library. So we'll turn it over to you, Emma. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Kat, and hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. What a wonderful way to kick off I Love to Read Month here at the hospital. On behalf of all the children and families at HSC Children's Hospital, I wanted to thank Rana Bakari for this generous donation of brand new Muslim books to our inpatient library, which is called the Book Corner, in honor of her father. The Book Corner Library, in case you didn't know, has been open since 1988. Since that time, the library continues to provide services that strive to minimize the stress and anxiety related to illness and hospitalization for patients and families. This is done through books and library services such as one-on-one reading, story times, a lending book and movie cart that go up to the units, and by offering a wide selection of books and other library materials for all ages and in several different languages and formats, the Book Corner provides patients with choices, diversions, and entertainment. How comforting for a child or family to see a book about their own culture or language and be able to read it together in hospital, which especially during what could be a very difficult and stressful time. Or even how exciting to be able to have the option for all children and families to learn more about Muslim culture. I've been enjoying seeing all the different books and the variety that has been donated of books for all ages. We do serve all the way from newborn to 18-year-olds. So to have board books and picture books and chapter books and graphic novels, it's very exciting. And as the libraries at Children's Hospital operate solely on gifts and grants, the special donation has made it possible to add much needed books for the library, which will be used by patients and families for years to come. I'm very excited to see these books added to our shelves. So thank you so much. I'll pass it back to Kat.
Thank you so much, Emma. And just so everybody is aware, Emma is broadcasting to us live from the Book Corner Library.
From the Book Corner.
Thanks, Emma. So now I would like to introduce Stefano Grande, our CEO, President and CEO of the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba. Over to you, Stefano.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Emma. That was wonderful. And thank you for all joining us this morning. Rana, thank you so much for this generous donation. What a beautiful way to honor your father's memory. I know we've talked about what a great man he was and how he lived his life so compassionately. We started this conversation almost last summer at the East Indian Company, me sharing with you my new career and this goal to raise dollars for our Child Life Department. And you were so inquisitive about what the Child Life Department was. And it's just an incredible place of play, of learning, of engagement. At any given time, there's 140 kids that are at our hospital, and many have to stay overnight. And right away, I saw this spark in your eye when you heard about the library and how this is a library for kids. So kids can read, and parents and siblings can read to those that are in the hospital. And it's just amazing to see how you took that spark and you created this mission for you. So we're so humbled that you chose the foundation as you found ways to do good work in your father's name. We're glad that it was a healing way for you to express your love for him. And this donation means so much for us at the foundation, because the kids that need the Children's Hospital come from many different cultural backgrounds and diversity, and programming is so important to us. We're so grateful for donors like you, Rana, who make comfort and culture that much more accessible to the kids who need it in the hospital every single day. It's so important for kids to have access to their stories about their own culture, to see their own characters who look like them and speak like them, to hear their own languages. The donation just adds to an already fantastic selection in our library. Our library already includes lots of French books and books in our Indigenous languages. And we've been searching for more books in Arabic, and also often get requests from books in Cantonese and Korean and German, Mandarin, Punjabi, Tagalog, and many, many more different cultures and languages. It's moments like this that really showcase how caring the community in Manitoba is. We're so grateful for people like you, Rana, who act as our champions for sick and injured children who need the hospital for treatments, for surgeries, for tests, and for much more. Something as simple as a book about their own culture can make such a huge impact for a child during a difficult time. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much, Rana. We appreciate your determination to 75 books. Wow, that's just amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stefano. I see that we have CTV on the line with us, and I wonder whether or not there are any questions. Any questions from the group? I have a question. Rana, if in your exploration of all of the books, were there any in particular that you were most excited about, that even as an adult you were just desperate to read?
I had no idea that there were comic books with Muslim characters, some in hijabs, who are basically superheroes. I mean, it's incredible. I know when we were kids, we definitely did not have that. So it was very, that was probably the most exciting. And then the second one was the series. So there's this series called Jannah's Treasures. And it's like this little gorgeous, little rock star Muslim brown girl who's like basically saving the world. So it's basically the brown version of Nancy Drew. So it's pretty incredible. But it just goes to show like how far we've kind of come in having access to these books where our faces are represented, and our language is represented, and these little cultural things that people don't really recognize that we carry are all represented. But the really unique thing about every single one of these books is they really they break stereotypes in a lot of ways. So they break stereotypes in a lot of ways, and they really do reflect some of the pillars of our life. And those are the pillars that our dad taught us, right? So to be kind, to be generous in mind, body, and spirit, and just to do the best that you can for everyone, regardless. So I love them all, and I'm obviously very excited about them. And I just need to get all of them for my niece now.
Fantastic, thank you. A question for Emma. Where do we see the greatest need for books currently in the library? Is there a particular place, especially now that we have COVID and different sort of restrictions, where there may be other opportunities to contribute to the library for folks who are out there watching at home?
Right. I would say for the needs of the library, it would be a lot of board books. We find those are the easiest to clean for infection control. All the books that we have that we've been able to keep, we've actually been able to keep the library going even right from the beginning of the pandemic. We were coming into work and doing readings, and we were circulating the board books. That was the main, just because they can be cleaned, and we put book tape on them and make them nice and sealed, so they're very clean and easy to wash. So I would say board books, and they have a lot of different board books now with Lift the Flaps and longer stories, ones that make music. and sounds and all that. So it's quite diverse. But really, and we also love like really anything. We're all ages here. That's the thing. It's just our space is a little tight. So we also, if we do receive a donation, we'll often donate it to the READ program, which we can share more information about, I'm sure. And we also have an NICU reader program where we have a staff person who goes around and talks with families and all the pods in the brand new NICU that opened last year. And we laminate all the books that go in there, again, for infection control. So often the books we get in, say, like picture book, we can laminate them and repurpose them that way. So it's quite exciting to have a different range of opportunities.
Well, with that, thank you again. Thank you, Rana, so very much for your
Yes.
generosity. Emma and Stefano, thank you for your time and expertise. To everybody who is watching, February is I Love to Read Month. Take advantage of that at home with your kids, with your partners, with yourselves. Enjoy getting lost or finding new discoveries in a book. And again, thank you on behalf of all the kids and their families here at HSC Children's Hospital for your donation and your terrific generosity, Rana.
You
Thanks
guys.
so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thanks, everyone.